Welcome to Poland on a Plate. In this episode, we'll start with some fun in the kitchen, making both gourmet and kid-friendly pizzas with my junior guest chef, Kate. And I'll also demonstrate my Polish twist on the classic Chicken Cordon Bleu, served with lentils and a Polish honey mead prune sauce. And later, I'll demonstrate my delicious recipe for Krakus Polish ham and cheese croquettes.
Poland on a Plate is brought to you by Krakus. Krakus, the true imported Polish ham.
Today, I'm happy to welcome our youngest guest. I'm calling her my junior master chef, Kate Puharich. So what are we gonna cook today, Kate?
Pizza!
All right. And this is one of your favorites?
Yes.
I heard you make it all the time at home.
Yeah.
Who's your sous chef?
My dad.
All right, well, let's make him proud and start with our dough here. So I have some all-purpose flour, and tell me the first thing we're gonna add to it.
Yeast.
Yeast, all right. Let's put those little guys in. And then what do the yeast like to eat? What are we gonna add next?
Sugar.
All right, and sugar is the sparkly one. Because we've got both sugar and salt. Now you don't have to do this, but I actually like to kind of protect them a little bit before we throw in the salt. Wanna add that? Woo! And you can go ahead and mix that, and I'll get our wet team together. I'm adding here a combination of white wine, olive oil, and water. So I'll pour this part in, and then the water. What does that feel like?
Mushy.
It's like wet cement, right? But don't worry, pretty soon we'll have delicious pizza dough. Is that getting hard to do it in the bowl?
Yeah.
All right, I'll help you turn it out.
I have a monster hand.
All right, here, I'm gonna take over. Is this your job when you're at home cooking with your dad, or does your dad make the dough?
We do it together.
You do it together, just like this?
Yeah.
It doesn't look like much right now, but once we knead it a little bit, it'll start to come together just fine. So what are your favorite toppings for pizza?
Cheese and ham.
Cheese and
Krakus ham.
Krakus ham, so you like the Polish ham on your pizza, right?
Not just any Polish ham, the best Polish ham.
We are just about there. I think I could probably use a touch more of the water if you want to help me out. Thank you. It's kind of the fun part when the water just starts going everywhere and you have to get it into the dough, right?
It's like oozing out of it.
You have to catch it before it starts going off the counter edge. So do you think it tastes better when you do your own dough?
Yeah, and it's more fun.
And it's more fun. What's the next step now? I think we have this pretty much coming together.
After you do that, you're gonna toss it in the air.
Woo! And you can do the tossing? Hey, you know what? As long as it doesn't end up on the ground or on my head, I'm okay with it. All right, I think our dough is good to go. You wanna give us a smack for good luck? All right, we'll set it over here, and we'll continue with these doughs. One for you, one for me.
Oh.
And then we'll grab rolling pins. So which one do you think is yours?
This one.
All right, do you want a little bit of flour?
Yeah.
All right, there's for you. Put a little bit of flour for me. And then we'll start rolling. You know how to do this part, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go. Well, they are somewhat resembling pizzas. Do you want to try to do that special trick that you learned?
Okay.
Try to flip it.
Wait.
Woo!
Oopsie.
That's okay. If you get a little bit of a hole, you just here.
You just go like
Fold
that.
it over. Shapes, right? It's not like a round pizza that you order. So we're going to go ahead and give you a sheet pan. We'll transfer it now. Ready? 1, 2, 3, up on the pan. And we're gonna start with the toppings. All right, so Kate's gonna show us a very easy and kid-friendly recipe for a basic marinara sauce. We have a container of water.
And just tomato paste.
Yeah, so what are we gonna do with the tomato paste?
And you just pour it in there.
How do you know when you have enough?
Well, you can first stir it, and if it's too much, you can add more water, but if it's too liquid, you can add more paste.
So what do you think we need? More paste or more water?
More paste.
All right, you tell me when to stop.
Okay, that's good.
I like your little whisk. You come prepared, huh?
I think it needs to be smaller. And when you've stirred it all, you add a little oregano.
What's that gonna do?
It's gonna make it taste better.
All right.
So once you've added the oregano, you add a pinch of salt.
Now we're gonna add that onto the pizza? Okay.
You can go first.
Oh, you know what? I'm gonna do a different sauce on mine, so that's all you.
Okay.
I'm actually gonna be using burrata on mine. So instead of making like a white sauce, I'm just gonna be using this cheese and tearing it apart. It's gonna have just enough liquid and then that cheese to form the base for my pizza. Just crumbling it with my fingers and spreading the sauce all across, just like you're doing with your marinara sauce.
And I like a little on my crust.
You like a little on the edges?
Yeah.
That's the good stuff, especially when the cheese is baked right on the edge of the crust. So delicious.
Ooh, that's a lot.
All right, spread this out. So I'm using burrata in this because it's a cheese with that kind of cream on the inside of it. This is a great and quick substitution for using a mozzarella cheese and then like a creme fraiche or a white sauce in addition to the cheese. It's kind of a one-stop shop. All right, you are going all over the crust with your sauce. I think we have enough.
Yeah, I accidentally poured too much.
I'm gonna move this to the side, and I think you should get started with your cheese. What kind of cheese do we have here?
Mozzarella.
Is that your favorite?
Yes.
How much do you usually like to put on?
A lot.
A lot? Just like your sauce?
Not the prettiest pizza, but it tastes good.
It looks so pretty, are you kidding me? We've got the white and the red, and then you got those little flecks of oregano. I think it's a gorgeous pizza. So I'm gonna set this to the side, and while you're keeping going with your cheese, I'm gonna start on the next component of my pizza. I have here some oyster mushrooms. So I'm just going to kind of roughly chop them. There's no need to pre-cook. You'll just wanna rinse them. Make sure they're nice and clean. Do you wanna start cutting your ham while I'm cutting the mushrooms?
Okay. I pile the ham on top of each other and then I cut them into little slices.
That's a great junior master chef trick you have there.
Thank you.
And then I was showing you these before. How cute are these? They look like the mushrooms from Fantasia, don't they? So these are the same as the mushrooms I chopped before. They're just a little bit of a more mature variety. So they're gonna have a different texture, a different depth of flavor, but still kind of keeping, I'm going to be adding truffles and truffle oil to this pizza once it's out of the oven. So I wanna make sure that the mushrooms I'm using are a little bit milder in flavor and they're not gonna overpower the final parts of my dish. How is your pizza going?
Good.
Are you making a smiley face?
Okay. Ta-da.
There we go.
It's kind of a messed up smiley face.
It's okay. We'll just make sure that we get ham all covering it so you get that nice Polish ham in every bite. I like it. We have here our two pizzas kind of representing different parts of Polish cuisine. You have yours with the Polish ham, and then I've got mine with the traditional kind of Polish mushroom. Are you good to go? Should we say goodbye to these and leave them in the oven for a few minutes?
Yes.
All right. Gonna help me with yours? We'll bring them over. There's it right down there. Perfect. All right, Kate, how long should we wait before checking on those pizzas?
About 10 minutes.
Sounds good. Just enough time to snack on some ham, right?
Yes.
Our pizzas just came out of the oven. I'm gonna help you get yours off the pan. And I'll grab mine real quick. So you have your final touch. What are you gonna be putting on yours?
Oregano.
Beautiful. And that was what we put in the sauce a little bit earlier, right? Mm-hmm. I'm gonna be adding a little bit of arugula, just for that bright green color. And since I was using mushrooms in my pizza, I'm going to add a very gourmet touch and top it with some fresh black truffles. And a little bit goes a long way with these. So I'll just take some nice, delicate shavings. And now to heighten the flavor, I'm just going to add a little splash of white truffle oil right on top. And you can really smell that. It smells very earthy, doesn't it? Earthy and like mushroom perfume.
I wouldn't wear that.
You wouldn't wear this cologne or perfume. So as you can see, this pizza is definitely geared more towards grown-ups, and then this is our kid-safe version.
Now do we get to eat it?
Thank you to my junior master chef, Kate Puharich, for helping me share our gourmet and kid-friendly rustic pizzas.
Poland on a Plate is brought to you by Krakus. Krakus, the true imported Polish ham.
Now I'll take you through my modern Polish spin on the classic chicken cordon bleu. I have here chicken breast, and I'm just gonna flip it over first. And as you can see on the back side, it has this kind of tender part to it that separates from the rest of the breast. I'm gonna remove that before I go any further. Now I'll just kind of turn it so that I get the thicker side towards my knife, and I'm gonna start cutting through, kind of cutting almost to the end, and then flipping it open like a book. Now we've helped to make the chicken breast a little bit thinner by cutting it, but to aid in that, I'm going to use some saran wrap as a protective barrier for our kitchen, and then I'm going to use a mallet to pound it out. You always want to use the flat side. This part is a tenderizer, but for something like a chicken breast, it's going to rip holes into it. So just use the flat side, start towards the center, and kind of angle your cuts out towards the edge of the cutlet. That looks good to me. Now I'll add the Polish part of my Polish chicken cordon bleu. I have here Krakus Polish ham. Just layer that down right there. And then I have some Swiss cheese, which is a very traditional ingredient in chicken cordon bleu. I like to keep it all towards this first edge that I'm gonna be rolling in, so then it doesn't come out while the chicken is cooking. Now for a less traditional ingredient, I'm adding sage. But it really has just this great earthy and homey aroma to it, and it really complements the ham and the chicken so, so well. For our last touch, I have some Parmesan cheese. I like to grate this fresh right on top, just to add a little bit of extra cheesiness, and who doesn't love that? All right, now I'll start with the rolling. Just take this end, kind of fold it over itself, and keep going until you get all the way to the other end. And now it's not going to want to stay closed just like this, so we'll help it out with some kitchen twine. Just wrap it around once, maybe twice, and then give it a good strong tie. And this twine is great for cooking, but just remember not to eat it. You can always just cut it off right before serving, and once the chicken's cooked, it'll already hold its shape. You don't have to worry about it rolling apart on you. I'm gonna go ahead and season the outside of it. I have some pepper, some salt, and then a little bit of dry thyme. And I like using dry herbs on the outside. If you're using a fresh herb and then you're putting it directly into hot heat, it's gonna burn it a little more. The dry herbs hold up to it better. I have my pan heating up over here. So I'm adding butter to my pan here, because we're gonna quickly pan fry this before letting it finish cooking in the oven. We'll go down first side. You can do this a couple different ways. You could put it directly into the oven, but what I like to do is sear all sides first, so you get that really nice, deep golden brown color. It'll also help to awaken kind of the oils that are in those dried thyme leaves and bring a little bit more flavor. Like right now I can smell the thyme, I can smell even a little bit of that sage. And of course the chicken and ham. Start turning it. And we don't need too much color, you're just looking for a little bit of browning. It'll do all the rest of the cooking in the oven. That looks beautiful. That's just the color we're looking for, and you can see we're even crisping up a little bit of the ham that's peeking out there. So I'm gonna grab my baking dish. For this size cutlet, I preheated the oven to 400 degrees. I'm gonna put it in for about 25 minutes.
Poland on a Plate is brought to you by Krakus. Krakus, the true imported Polish ham.
Welcome back to Poland on a Plate. During this segment, I will feature a delicious recipe using Krakus, the true imported Polish ham. I'm going to share with you today one of my favorite make-ahead snacks, Krakus Ham and Cheese Croquettes. I like to use a chive mashed potato as the base and a combination of breadcrumbs for a crunchy and delicious bite. I'm starting first with our potatoes. All I've done is I've cubed and peeled about 2 russet potatoes and boiled them in salted water until they're extra fork tender. That's going to help us out with the mashing process so that there's less lumps. I'm going to add to that our dairy. I have some unsalted butter, and then I also have about a 1/4 cup of sour cream, and then a 1/4 cup of milk. I really like using the combination of milk and sour cream. It gives a little bit more dimension to the flavor. And then it also helps to create a tighter mashed potato. That's gonna come in handy when we're forming these. So we're gonna be making flattened discs and then frying them. And you can see how nice and creamy it's starting to look already. Just gonna wanna make sure that I'm seasoning it well with salt and pepper. And then to that, I'll be incorporating our cheddar cheese, about 3 ounces or a cup by volume, some chives for that nice green color and great oniony flavor. And then our ham. I'm using Krakus original Polish ham variety in this recipe. You could alternately use the honey ham or the reduced sodium variety. Just use this spoon to mix everything together. You can see how beautiful and colorful it is. The warmth from the potato still is going to do a great job of melting our cheese just a little bit. This is going to be a little bit too hot to handle right now, so I'm going to set it aside and bring out some that I've already made. All right, and I have my sheet pan here with some parchment paper and then our cooled potato and ham mixture. I like to use a tablespoon as a disher so that I can make sure that all the portion size is even. This will help with cooking and then just serving as well. So I'll just take about a scoop here, and then what I'm gonna do is toss it into some flour. This will help to take away some of the stickiness of the potatoes, and then it also helps just to keep this shape. So I'll form it into kind of a flattened disc. I love the make-ahead nature of this dish because you can make a whole bunch of these and then just pop them in the fridge, take them out as a great quick after-school snack, or even for entertaining purposes. Just bring them out right before you're ready to fry, and it's good to go. It's important to use something like a parchment paper because the potato isn't going to stick to it. You could also substitute with like a wax paper, but I would stay away from cling wrap or anything like that. All right, now these are gonna need to sit in the fridge for at least an hour, preferably overnight, just so that they can solidify and keep their shape while you're frying them. I do have some that I've already allowed to rest. So I have a little bit of light olive oil, add to our pan. Croquettes are typically deep fried, but I think it's a little easier to just pan fry them. You're just gonna wanna make sure that you have the surface of the pan completely coated. Turn our heat just a little bit up. And now I did already flour these, but depending on how they look when you take them out, you can always flour them again before continuing with the breading process. So I'll just take one here, drop it in the flour, drop it in the egg. Last but not least, our breadcrumb mixture. So the very thin breadcrumbs are gonna do a great job of evenly coating, and then the panko breadcrumbs have that extra little texture, give it a really delicious bite. All right, first one is in, and we'll just continue this quick process here. Let's see how these guys are doing. We're looking for like golden brown color. These are gonna have a nice crunchy exterior, and then the inside is gonna be that nice soft potato and ham mixture. I'll set them on our draining rig just to get some of the extra oil off. Bring out our plate. This looks great. All that's missing is your favorite dipping sauce. And this is my Krakus Ham and Cheese Croquettes. You can find this and other great Krakus recipes on our website at polandonaplate.com and find Krakus Ham at fine delis near you. Bon appetit, or as we say in Polish, smacznego.
Poland on a Plate is brought to you by Krakus. Krakus, the true imported Polish ham.
While our chicken is finishing in the oven, I'm going to move along with another component I'm super excited about. This recipe is taken from Poland's contribution to the Milan 2015 Expo, showcasing the healthy side of Polish cuisine. I'll also be introducing a 1,000-year-old Polish ingredient, honey mead. I'm going to start with our petite French green lentils. These are also known as the caviar of lentils. They have a lot of health benefits, but they're also a little bit more flavorful than traditional lentils that you might be used to. They're green in color, they're very small. You're gonna take them, soak them in water for about an hour with some salt, and then simmer 15-20 minutes, and then drain and cool them. Once you've finished, they'll look like this. You can see how they've plumped up and their color has changed a little bit. They're soft, but they'll still have a little bit of that bite to them in texture. So I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna take some butter, add it to our pan, and then I'm going to add some shallot to it. Just gonna brown that a little bit, and I'll add in our already cooked lentils. Just gonna want to heat them up and then add some crispness to the exterior of the lentils. For some additional flavorants, I have thyme and then our honey mead. Honey mead is also how we get the term honeymoon, since it was traditionally served at weddings to the bride and groom. And today, Poland is the world's leading exporter of mead. Moving on to the next part of our recipe, I'm going to be preparing a sauce. And in the sauce, I'm going to be using smoked prunes. So I'll just chop them up a little bit. Doesn't have to be too precise, because we're going to be simmering them for a while so they'll get nice and soft. All right. I'm going to add some butter to our pan here. And to our pan with the butter, I'll add some more shallot and our prunes. And then I'm adding in chicken stock. And then you let it go until the prunes soak in some of this chicken juice. The color will darken and it will also reduce in half, so it'll create more of a sauce consistency. You can see I have final one right over here. It's darker in color and you can really smell a lot of that sweetness coming from the prunes. Everything looks great and we're ready for plating. So I'll grab the chicken breast that we cooked before. It's had time to rest out of the oven, and so now I can start slicing. First I'll want to just remove this twine, and you can see even though I've removed the string, it's still holding its shape nicely. So you can see all of our great ingredients on the inside. We have our ham and our cheese and that wonderful pop of green sage. Take our plate and I'll start adding a few lentils to it. We're going to be creating kind of a bed for the chicken to lay on. And now I'll add the chicken breast to our lentils. And then finally, now adding our smoked prune sauce right to top of it like that. We'll add a little bit of thyme just to kind of freshen up that flavor from our lentils that we'd cooked it with. And this is my twist on Polish chicken cordon bleu, served with green lentils and a honey mead prune sauce. You can find recipes from today's program on our website at polandonaplate.com. Bon appetit, or as we say in Polish, smacznego.
Poland on a Plate is brought to you by Krakus. Krakus, the true imported Polish ham.